We're talking about Danielle Spencer, who played Little Sister D on that hit 1970 sitcom, What's Happening? She died Monday after a long battle with cancer.
What if I told you the heartbreaking death of child star turned adored veterinarian Danielle Spencer wasn't just another sad cancer story? What if I told you the truth is nastier, juicier, and straight up chilling? Buckle up, because those leaked autopsy reports don't whisper, they scream. And according to what's leaking out, Danielle Spencer may not have been taken down by disease at all, but by something far more twisted. Poison. Yep, let that sink in. Poison for years. Now hold up. Think about it. The headlines said, cancer claimed her. The fans wept. She fought bravely. But if that's true, why does the autopsy flag toxins nobody dares mention? Why are insiders insisting her meds were tampered with? And why is Hollywood sweeping this mess under the rug faster than a flop Netflix reboot? This isn't just a death. It's a cover-up, a betrayal, a conspiracy hiding in plain view. So grab your popcorn, because tonight we're not just mourning Danielle Spencer, we're tearing open the scandal that could detonate Hollywood. Picture this, a beloved star, a TV icon, a woman whose smile once lit up an entire generation. And then, bam, behind all that Hollywood sparkle, you find out her life was nowhere near the fairy tale it looked like. Danielle Spencer, the actress who stole millions of hearts on What's Happening back in the 1970s, is now smack in the middle of one of the wildest autopsy leaks ever dropped. And what the report hints at? That she may have been secretly poisoned for years while nobody had a clue. Yep, you heard me. Not some random accident, not just medical bad luck, but a possibility so twisted, so unsettling, it left fans, friends, and even investigators floored. Was Danielle Spencer's tragic health decline actually engineered? To figure out how we landed here, we've got to spin the clock back. Danielle Spencer wasn't just another child star. She wasn't just the face of D. Thomas, the sharp-tongued little sister who always had a comeback ready. No, Danielle was more than that. She was the heartbeat of the show, the one who made. She made fans laugh, gave audiences a sense of connection, and most importantly, became a role model young black girls could finally see themselves in. But while her on-screen glow seemed effortless, reality wasn't nearly as pretty. From day one, Danielle Spencer was crushed under Hollywood's weight. Fame showed up fast. And with it came suffocating expectations. But Danielle was cut different. Instead of clinging to the spotlight, she chased knowledge. When What's Happening wrapped, she pulled a move almost no child star ever does. She walked away and became a veterinarian. A doctor. A woman defined by discipline, compassion, and brilliance. By all accounts, she built a meaningful life far from the cameras. But that's when the story twists. Over the years, Danielle faced a chain of health battles that baffled even her closest circle. She once revealed she survived a near-fatal car crash as a teen, left scarred with long-term issues. Later, she fought breast cancer. Fans praised her grit, but privately friends whispered about something off. Her decline seemed unnaturally fast. And then came the bombshell, Danielle Spencer's autopsy leak. The files now floating online don't just revisit her history, they hint at something far darker. They uncovered toxic substances in her system that had no business being there, traces of chemicals linked to long-term poisoning. The kind of stuff that, taken in tiny doses over years, can perfectly imitate natural illness until the body finally collapses. Now hold up, let that sink in. This wasn't just some unlucky medical twist. This was evidence screaming a slow, calculated attack. Which means someone, somewhere, may have been dripping poison into Danielle Spencer's life for years without her ever realizing. The million-dollar question, who? Let's lay it out. If Danielle really was poisoned, that means someone with access pulled the strings. Was it a bitter rival from her Hollywood past? Someone furious she ditched fame for a real life? Or worse, could it have been someone closer? A so-called friend who smiled in her face, gained her trust, then quietly engineered her collapse? Look at the timeline and it gets even creepier. After surviving that horrific car wreck, Danielle rebuilt her world piece by piece. She thrived in veterinary medicine, saved animals, inspired fans at conventions, and kept her circle small. But in the years before her death, signs began to surface that something darker was closing in. She started appearing weaker, more fragile. Friends said she often looked drained, confused, and mysteriously sick. Doctors brushed it off as side effects of her cancer fight. But with this autopsy in play, that excuse doesn't hold water. Think about it, poisoning, especially the kind stretched across years, hides in plain sight because the symptoms mimic everyday illness. Fatigue, weight loss, organ failure, all things a doctor can easily misdiagnose as cancer progression or aging. And if someone wanted Danielle Spencer gone, what better disguise could there be? The leaked report doesn't just spark curiosity, it screams danger. Toxicologists studying the data say those chemical levels don't line up with accidental exposure. We're talking arsenic, thallium, even antifreeze compounds. Poisons that slip silently into food or drink, tasteless, colorless, and deadly, leaving a trail of destruction over decades. Fans are already connecting the dots. Online forums are buzzing with theories. Some suspect an old Hollywood rival with a grudge. Others whisper about money. Danielle never flaunted riches, but between her vet career and TV legacy, she wasn't broke. Could greed have been the motive? Or is the darkest theory true, that this poisoning wasn't about money at all? Not about money, not about fame, but about control. And here's the part that rips this story wide open. If Danielle Spencer really was poisoned, then she spent years battling for her life without even realizing she was fighting the wrong enemy. She thought she was fighting cancer, the wreckage of her accident, her own body. In truth, she may have been battling an invisible hand, someone who wanted her erased. Imagine that betrayal. Imagine the horror of knowing someone close could be the one secretly destroying you. This investigation leaves us dangling on a chilling cliffhanger. The evidence is glaring, the questions are screaming, and the suspect list is long. But the truth? It's buried under silence, secrecy, and denial. And as this chapter closes, one thing cuts through clear as day: Danielle Spencer's legacy is no longer just about a child star or a resilient survivor. It's about a potential murder carried out in plain sight, undetected for decades. So the burning question is, who wanted Danielle Spencer gone, and just how far did they go to bury the truth? At first, her passing looked like another tragic health story. But when whispers of an autopsy leak hit the surface, the tale swerved into something far darker. The truth wasn't what anyone expected. People expected a routine story, a sad but simple illness. Instead, it was far more sinister. Behind the scenes, investigators started stitching together evidence that pointed to Danielle Spencer living with poison in her body for years. Imagine it, someone you admired, watched, and grew up with, secretly being destroyed from the inside out. The leak exposed toxins that don't just pop up naturally, they're introduced on purpose. This sounds like a Hollywood thriller, not real life. Yet friends of Danielle began speaking out, saying she often complained of exhaustion, weakness, and bizarre health problems no doctor could fully pin down. She endured treatment after treatment, but nothing gave lasting relief. To the world, she was smiling, showing courage, radiating strength. Behind closed doors, though, she was crumbling. And now the puzzle pieces finally fit. The autopsy findings outline symptoms that scream long-term poisoning, hair loss, drastic weight changes, relentless pain, and organ damage that never quite matched her medical diagnoses. It's bone-chilling to imagine someone so vibrant slowly fading without knowing the real reason. Those closest to her remember moments when Danielle doubted her own fight. She once admitted, "Something doesn't add up. It feels like my body is fighting something invisible." At the time, everyone brushed it off as the exhaustion of her health battles. But looking back now, those words sound like a desperate cry for help no one recognized. And here's the chilling twist: poison doesn't magically appear in your body. If this leak holds weight, someone had to be close enough to Danielle Spencer to slip it in. Someone trusted. Someone who should have cared. That possibility alone has rattled her fan base, fueling theories, debates, and non-stop speculation online. Social media is on fire, some blame bad medications, others scream foul play, and a few suggest environmental exposure. But here's the kicker: the leak confirmed the toxins in her system weren't things she'd ever encounter naturally. This wasn't random. This was deliberate. Calculated. And it's not just fans losing sleep. Industry insiders whisper that Danielle had enemies, people who envied her, resented her, or wanted her gone. Was this revenge from Hollywood? Or something far closer, a betrayal from inside her circle? The chilling reality is her death was never as simple as the headlines claimed. Initially stamped as health-related, this new layer of evidence makes the story downright chilling. If poison really played a role, then Danielle Spencer's life wasn't just cut short by tragedy, it was stolen. Even more haunting? Old interviews are resurfacing where she casually mentioned being careful about what she ate and drank. Back then, it sounded like standard health talk. But now? Fans are replaying those clips with suspicion. Did Danielle sense something was wrong? Was she quietly suspicious but powerless to prove it? Each puzzle piece makes the picture darker. Imagine enduring years of hidden torment, admired for your resilience, never realizing that strength was being tested by pure evil lurking in the background. Her legacy now carries not only admiration, but the crushing weight of unanswered questions. Was Danielle Spencer really poisoned for years? Was her so-called illness just a mask for something sinister? And most chilling of all, who hated her enough to slowly kill her? This revelation has blown open a mystery nobody was ready for, leaving the world shocked, restless, and demanding justice for a woman who deserved far better. The deeper investigators dug, the darker the truth around Danielle Spencer's passing became. Deeper dives into her medical records, private life, and the strange shadows over her final years painted a grim picture. Friends who once described Danielle Spencer as vibrant and full of spirit later admitted her health battles were far more brutal than anyone knew. Behind closed doors, Danielle lived with constant pain, confusion, and mysterious symptoms that escalated at an alarming pace. Doctors blamed complications from her old injuries and her well-documented spinal problems. But the leaked autopsy pointed to something far darker, clear signs of long-term poisoning. This wasn't a sudden collapse. The findings suggested a slow, methodical breakdown of her body over time. Experts say the poison could have been slipped in tiny, undetectable doses, blending perfectly with her existing health issues. Her family was stunned. How could a woman who'd already survived so much, from horrific car wrecks to the brutal weight of fame, also fall victim to something this calculated and cruel? The whispers only grew louder. Was someone close to Danielle behind it? Was this the revenge of an old enemy, or a betrayal carved from within her inner circle? Those who worked with Danielle in Hollywood recalled her frequent complaints of exhaustion, dizziness, and sudden waves of nausea while on set. At the time, it was brushed off as stress. Brushed off as stress or lingering injuries, those symptoms now look terrifying under the lens of the autopsy leak. Experts say poisoning often disguises itself as everyday illness, nearly impossible to catch without intense investigation. Close friends revealed that in her final months, Danielle Spencer confessed unsettling feelings, like her body was betraying her in ways she couldn't explain. Some even remembered her voicing paranoia, whispering that someone might be after her. Back then, it sounded dramatic. Now, it feels hauntingly prophetic. The entertainment world erupted in shock. To imagine that such a beloved actress, famous for her charm and resilience, could have been quietly living under a sinister threat rattled fans and colleagues alike. Hollywood has always been accused of harboring secrets, but this revelation cut much deeper. This wasn't about fame, fortune, or petty rivalries. This was about the chilling possibility of a life deliberately sabotaged. As the media swarmed the story, legal experts began speculating. If these poisoning claims prove true, it could trigger criminal investigations, lawsuits, and a brutal re-examination of everyone in Danielle's circle during her decline. Suddenly, ex-partners, old associates, even medical professionals found themselves under a harsh spotlight. The autopsy revealed something especially disturbing: traces of substances that, while toxic, are often found in controlled medical treatments. That detail sparked fierce debate. Was Danielle Spencer unknowingly exposed through prescriptions, supplements, or even contaminated food? It blurred the line between tragic negligence and calculated intent. Was her suffering the result of sloppy care, or was someone deliberately pulling strings in the shadows? Fans unleashed their emotions online, flooding feeds with Danielle's most iconic clips under hashtags demanding justice. Tributes praised how she inspired generations, while fiery posts asked why nobody stepped in as her health spiraled so visibly. It became a storm of grief and outrage, mourning the woman, but furious at the thought her life was stolen. Meanwhile, her family fought to preserve privacy, but leaks and speculation made that impossible. Every statement they gave was chewed apart by tabloids. Some relatives insisted Danielle had long suspected something sinister, while others begged the public to wait for official answers before forming judgment. That split only poured gasoline on the fire. And let's not forget, Hollywood history is littered with untimely deaths draped in mystery. But Danielle's case hit differently, uniquely unsettling. Here was a woman who had already survived so much chaos, only to face what looked like a silent attack from the inside out. Her legacy as a strong, determined actress now comes wrapped in a chilling tale of betrayal and unanswered questions. And the most haunting question remains: if Danielle Spencer was poisoned, who stood to gain from her pain, or her death? Investigators whispered about money disputes, hidden rivalries, and personal vendettas. Others pointed to Hollywood's darker underbelly, a place where secrets rot in silence and loyalty can be bought. But no matter the angle, one thing was certain: Danielle Spencer's story won't fade into the shadows. Her passing became a brutal wake-up call about hidden battles, ignored symptoms, and the possibility that the deadliest threats don't always come from your body, but from the sinister forces circling it. As the grief settled, fans, friends, and family were left holding the painful truth: Danielle's fight was bigger than anyone knew. And though the leaked autopsy raised more questions than answers, it ensured the world would never stop asking, was she poisoned? And if so, why? Her story lingers as an unsettling mystery, woven with tragedy, betrayal, and the haunting legacy of a life stolen too soon. And if this revelation already has you questioning everything you thought you knew, just wait. More celebrity secrets, more hidden truths, and more jaw-dropping twists are coming. Don't miss a single one. Subscribe right now, hit that notification bell, and stay with us, because the stories they never wanted you to hear are only just beginning. Trust me, you do not want to miss what's next.